Hello, everyone. You are live with Jonathan Maness, aka the One Leg Bandit, and we are always about here at Maness Veteran Medical bringing to you the cutting edge technology to help our veterans and DoD service members deal with pain, deal with diabetes, deal with wounds. And today, I'm just so very thankful. I got SoftWave TRT here with me again. We've done one show in the past. Look it up on YouTube. But Dr. Matt Diduro is with us today, and sorry about the name, but Dr. Matt Diduro, he is going to be here and going over SoftWave, his experiences, the VAs that he's already placed it in, and just what this product really can do for our veterans. So with no further words here, let me go ahead and bring Dr. Matt right into the stream.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity. You've done such a great job at featuring this technology. And you're one of the early adopters of this. So thank you so much for giving us a platform to really teach others about this amazing technology.
It's been a blessing. A little bit of my backstory is I was in the VA 7 years ago, and I saw, what they wasn't doing. They wasn't spending the dollars for our veterans to bring the cutting edge. And I believe that Maness Veteran Medical is all about bringing these new products to the VA and to the DoD. So I'm just so thankful for you taking a little bit of time here today to bring this product to the forefront. If you would, just go ahead and let everyone know, your position and what you do and the foresight on the product.
Yeah, currently I'm the Chief Medical Officer for SoftWave Tissue Regeneration Technologies. And I guess I got that after about 4 years ago. If I could just tell you what happened with me. When I first experienced this technology, I've been a chiropractor for over 27 years. And 14 years ago, I had a 350-pound patient fall off the table. I grabbed him, dislocated my right shoulder, detached the labrum, tore ligaments in my wrist. To make a long story short, 2 surgeries later, I was out of work for 3 years. I retired and started teaching at Life University, where I ran the functional rehab department from 2007 to 2009. I had over $350,000 worth of medical equipment at my disposal, and nothing could help my wrist. The shoulder was 99% improved, but I still had problems like riding a bike, pushing a lawnmower, trying to swing a golf club. My right wrist was in pain for 11 years, Jonathan, and it was Chinese water torture. It never left. It was 24/7. And I'm not one that can tolerate strong medications or narcotics. I didn't want to have another surgery. The hand specialist in Atlanta said, this is God's country right here. You don't want to get in there again. And so, I got sick of doing the cortisone injections. I felt it was actually causing more damage than good. And, after a few years of suffering, my brother-in-law, who wrestled with our CEO and founder, John Warlick, in high school at Walton High, he actually dragged me in to get my first treatment. And I will tell you, the relief was amazing. I was like, dude, what just happened to my pain? I felt like somebody had punked me because, after 11 years having this constant companion of pain, all of a sudden gone. I was driving home in my car, and it was really the whole paradigm on healing had shifted. And my next concept was, wow, I need to get this device in every major metropolitan city in America. First, every state, and then every major center in the United States. I felt like Ray Kroc. I was like, how Ray, when he found the McDonald brothers,
yeah.
And it was just like, I had that vision, like, we need this in every provider's office. So, I went back for my second treatment. Just 5 days later, I got another 20% relief. I had a third treatment just a week later. I literally was 90% better, playing golf, going to the, trying to get my swing back. And I just said to John Warlick, I said, John, what can I do to help you get this to the masses? And, John and Mark Gronowski, our founders, had really been working for 14 years. And we're starting to see some success right now, but it's really the how they laid this down the first 15 years and really kept this dream alive. And there were many times along the road where this could have imploded, but they were strong enough to keep this technology alive. And literally, I bought the device, I had it, and I didn't treat my wrist for 14 more months later. That's how much it helped. So
absolutely amazing, Dr. Duro. And painkillers and opioid addiction has been a major problem with veterans. They jump out of a plane, they blow up their knee, they blow up their ankle. They can't deal with that pain, just like you were saying. You had to deal with it for how many years was you dealing with your
11 years. And 11. It was constant pain.
And it leads to so many more terrible side effects. And Maness Veteran Medical wants to get as many veterans off those painkillers as we can. That's why I'm so thankful that you're sharing your message. It took you 2 or 3 treatments, and then you are feeling good enough to play, no more lingering pain, and you believed. So just like a lot of things that I've been through, and a lot of these products that I'm bringing to the forefront, whenever you see it and feel it and touch it, and you're like, whoa, like you said, you changed your life to bring this product to anyone that would listen. And here's the platform to go ahead and put it out there. We have so many VA facilities and DoD facilities that will be watching this. So let them know some more about your experience.
Yeah, my heart goes out to our veterans who have, risked their lives and sacrificed their bodies to give us our freedom. And, and I was there, I was like, what if there's nothing out there that can really help me? I mean, that came across my mind every day, every week when I searched for this. And it was really a blessing that I was able to, meet John Warlick and really find this technology. And it means so much to me that I've been on a mission the last 4 years. And, people don't get behind causes, they get behind people. And John Warlick had this fire and passion, and he just needed help. And you're helping us every day and every week getting this message out there. But I know there are veterans sitting at home that are just like, listen, the opioid epidemic, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, we can't forget that over 175 Americans die every day from prescription drug and opioid overdoses. Okay. That's like every 3 days, a jumbo jet going down. And it affects our veterans at an alarming rate. Not to mention that diabetes, 24% of all diabetics, 24% of all veterans are type 2 diabetics now. And that can create a host of other issues and health problems. So, I'm happy that 2 years ago, I'm so lucky to work with a great doctor, Dr. Chris Henthorn, who is a chiropractor and works in the alternative pain management section in Texas, El Paso. And I would post stuff on Facebook, and we happened to be friends from years ago. And he followed me, and he just couldn't believe some of the miracles he was seeing. And he's like, I want to get this for our veterans. So Texas, El Paso was the first VA center that we were able to get this in. Even through COVID, there was a lot of veterans who couldn't have joint replacement, knee replacement, and because the surgeries were down. And Dr. Henthorn has literally saved half a dozen veterans from going on to get joint replacements and surgeries. So he's doing some groundbreaking work. And then he also got us into Beaumont Medical Hospital. And then John Warlick was lucky enough to get us into Walter Reed Military Hospital. And so that's amazing. Like some of the wounded warriors that we've been working with. And as you know, Senator Max Cleland, who's a highly decorated Vietnam vet and triple amputee, has probably had more SoftWaves than any other person on the planet. So it's really been beneficial for him and stopping little wounds from becoming bigger issues.
Absolutely. Anyone watching this live stream right now, if you have any questions, throw them up in the chat. We'll answer the questions as they come in, if you have any. But if you would, Dr. Diduro, please tell us a little bit about the technology, in your, you've had it used on you, but what exactly does it do? I get that the majority of the questions that come in is, what are you talking about? What does it do? In your words, can you please put it out there?
Yes. And this is genuine lithotripsy. When that technology has been around for over 40 years, and that's what they've used successfully over the last 4 decades to treat kidney stones. So it uses supersonic sound waves traveling 3,355 miles an hour that come out of our applicator head, and it's an electrohydraulically produced sound waves. So what is that? That is where we have a spark plug within water that creates this sound wave and is magnified by the water by 5 times. So it's traveling 4.4 the speed of sound, or 4.4 Mach, and those supersonic sound waves have this shearing effect. So they can go as deep as, say, a soup can and that circumference into the body. And it's kind of like when you're sitting in an ocean and the water hits your legs. There's this positive force first, and then there's this negative tensile force when the water sucks back into the ocean, and it's just as powerful. And what happens on a cellular level is that it creates this shearing force that really breaks up any type of oxidative stresses that have built up on that cell membrane, and it allows nutrients to now get into that cell and waste products to get out. So it increases cell membrane permeability. And then you also get release of exosomes, which are precursors to stem cells. The stem cells are really the repairman of the body. And just like a swarm of bees will swarm to an intruder, that's what happens with this technology. This is a stem cell attractant, and it really calls for other helper cells and repair cells to come to that area. And it tricks the body into thinking there's a new injury. And the coolest thing about this is that it helps release what's called an innate immune receptor called toll-like 3. And toll-like 3 is really important in downregulating inflammation. Now, inflammation is the silent killer. That is what is part of all disease process, and inflammation is the silent killer. So if you can turn off that inflammatory process for minutes to hours and sometimes days, that allows your body to recover and repair and really rejuvenate again. So it's funny, we sold this to several anti-aging clinics and longevity centers because of that ability. It's working on a cellular level, and it's helping your mitochondrial, which are the powerhouse to your cell. It's boosting them to work at a much more efficient level and produce what's called ATP, adenine triphosphate, which allows our body to utilize oxygen at a much higher rate. So, I mean, I tried to break it down, not so scientific, but the bottom line is it decreases pain, it improves circulation, and it really accelerates the body's healing.
It's kind of like it's kind of like a switch that turns on to, you turn the switch on exactly where you need to be healed at. That's why it helps so much with diabetic ulcers and things of that matter. I mean, it's helping. The stories that I have saw with my own eyes, and everybody knows me that watches these live streams, they know I'm no BS. If the product doesn't work, I'm not chasing it. But I have saw and seen so many testimonials of this. We have to get this word out there. This is a true life changer, lifesaver that we have to get out to the masses. So talk a little bit about the diabetic side of things and the effects that it can have with diabetes.
Well, you know, I run one of the largest diabetic and neuropathy clinics in America here at ATL Pain Institute in Atlanta, and we see over 900 new diabetic neuropathy patients a year. So that's been my specialty. I'm past president of Neuropathy Treatment Centers of America. And this really started out of necessity. My mom 20 years ago was taking statins for such a short period of time. And she literally, she got rhabdomyolysis, which is a breakdown of muscle, and she couldn't walk. You know, a healthy 71-year-old woman, one day she's walking, 2 days later she's not. And she was in a wheelchair. So it really put my brother and I on this mission, right? The mother is necessity is the mother of invention. In this case, it was our mom. And we literally started working with these patients, and we were on a mission, number one, to get people off statins because they are an anti-angiogenic drug, meaning they stop the formation of new blood pathways. And so many of our veterans are on that as preventative, but I'll tell you, in the rest of the world, it's used as a stopgap drug. So which means they only use it for a short period of time. And in most of our patients that come in, almost 44% have been on that statin drug for more than 6 months. So you only want to be on that for a short period of time. But the diabetes, the blood gets thicker. It doesn't flow as well through the arteries and capillaries. That's why diabetics go blind, because of small little capillaries in the brain. And that's why they have, poor wound healing in the farthest distal extremities. This device, it helps improve circulation. It helps decrease inflammation. And, I just think that it's going to prevent thousands of amputations per year. And the more people that find out about this, the better type of, you had Dr. John D. Mullins on, I know, a couple of weeks ago. He did such a great job. He showed you some amazing cases. And that's at the far end. Think about from prevention. The thing I love about the Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians who are using this technology, they're not just using it for pain, but they actually have their players come in once a month and they screen both shoulders, both elbows, both wrists, both knees, looking for true injuries before they become snowball out into bigger issues, right? So they're using this as a preventative. There's a diagnostic component to this that many people don't realize. That means if you run this over normal tissue, no pain. So in our clinic, we use it on our diabetic patients to screen to see how normal the tissue is. And again, even though neuropathy is a nerve issue, the underlying issue is a blood flow issue. So when I got this technology, not only did I use it on myself, my mom, my wife, but then I started using it on my failures in my clinic, like all the people who were not getting better. And it was like all of a sudden, 50% of those people were getting better. And I was like, ooh, I'm onto something, right? And so, I used my practice in Atlanta as a laboratory, right? If it was good enough for me and my family, and then helping these patients that could been to doctor after doctor after doctor without any relief, and then all of a sudden, we're actually helping them get better. So that's where, I said, oh my gosh, we're onto something really wonderful here. And I was able to really develop a protocol that is now active in 135 clinics across the country and treating. It's become a non-alternative pain centers. So people don't want opioids, right? The risk of accidental overdose, cortisone injections. Literally in Austria, cortisone injections are antiquated, right? They don't use them. In 3 or 4 years, we will look at cortisone injections as being barbaric. There's over 33 bad side effects, including the top 3. It decreases your immune system. It actually increases your risk of osteopenia or weakening of the bone. And then it also accelerates joint degeneration. The same reason why you're putting it into someone to stop that inflammation, it will accelerate the problem that they have. So,
and I love that you've already put in a process. See, that's what this is about, Matt. We are educating the VAs and the DODs. You already have it placed 124 different locations. But if we educate and we let them know this process, whenever I'm going to the VA and doing a standard visit, instead of just talking and not getting anything done, they can come in. You can get a treatment done. I'm an amputee. I don't know whether you know that or not. I can get a treatment done for my phantom pain or whatever. And if I could get some of that relief where I can sleep an extra hour or two at night, that's a lifesaver for me. And it also helps your health. And that's just me talking. But there are so many people out there that need to understand this new technology. And we're doing great things by letting people know, absolutely changing the world. And that was my mission. There was like, how are you going to change the world? Little old Maness Veteran Medical. The truth is, by getting the word out, using my mouth, and spreading the word and letting folks know that this is the answer. You got to give this a chance. So what do you see the future like for this? I mean, if we could do this, and we're going to hopefully place this 20, 30 more VAs this year, what would you like to do? Do an online training that shows them all your processes, or what are you thinking?
We already created that, right? During the pandemic, we couldn't go on into the clinics to train them. So we created an entire online virtual course for these doctors that they could literally, by the time they ordered the device, we sent them their online training. And it literally, I'm a dyslexic Italian kid from New York, so I had to make it so simple that anybody could utilize it. It's literally 43 minutes long to start the basic certification course to be able to operate this. This is very user friendly, right? It's like, because if you're running it over an area that's not causing a little pain or discomfort, you're in the wrong area. So, John Warlick has taught us, like, it's called the 2 millimeter rule, and you have it in life, right? You could be 2 millimeters off and it'd be not in the right area, but is moving it just a little bit to the left and listening to that biofeedback from that patient, right? Like, oh, right there. And typically that's what they say. So again, it's user friendly. What do I see? I believe that, especially chiropractors, this was the lowest hanging fruit for us to get this to, because unfortunately, only 10% of the population will even visit a chiropractor. And, the profession has been non-invasive. It's a manipulative therapy, and it really has never caught on. But I will tell you that now with this technology, I have 100% of the people in my community that are living in pain, that are looking for real results, that will come into our clinic, and they don't care what the last 2 letters of are behind my name, right? They want the results. And the beautiful thing about this is that social media, but like I came home the first couple days and I was like, honey, you're not going to believe this. This lady could move her hand and she hadn't been able to move it in 2 years. And she goes, well, did you videotape it? And I go, no, I didn't. So she said, start videotaping it. And that's why we've compiled over the last 4 years, thousands of testimonials, real live patients telling about their experience and their immediate relief. Now, one visit doesn't fix everything, but it starts the healing process, and it literally tricks the body into thinking there's a new injury without causing any tissue damage. So it almost like hits the reset button, and your body starts that whole cascade of natural healing over again. So where do I see this in 3 to 5 years? I feel like every chiropractor is going to need this device, or their clinics will be antiquated like a flip phone from 2008. Now, those phones were cool, but they're no smartphones, right? This is really the technology of the future. And, the wonderful thing is it makes us like a non-interventional orthopedist. Right? So we have a focus on posture and structure, but really we can help work on a neurological basis as well, because we have 45 patents. One of them including is peripheral nerve regeneration. And I couldn't go on the show without talking to you about the spinal cord injury study out of Austria. Jonathan, are you familiar with that? It was just the pilot study was published in August of 2020.
I saw it after the fact. Yes.
So pretty cool. This is in all 13 trauma centers in Austria. And 2 years ago, they created a national health mandate that any spinal cord injured patients in Austria would have this treatment done within 72 hours. Okay. So when they compiled all the data and looked at it, looking back over the last 2 years, they found 50% reduction in paralysis. Now, that was compared to the previous 18 years. This is groundbreaking research. And it was there that they realized, like, this may be the first potent therapy for spinal cord injury patients. Up until this point in our lives, there's nothing that helps spinal cord injured patients. And I was lucky enough with working with one of our patients, Daniel Pompa, who jumped off a 60-foot cliff in July of 2019, came up 5 feet short, broke both ankles, 2 vertebrae in his spine and his wrist and some ribs. 75% of the people would be paralyzed. We were able to get a device out to his father, Dr. Dan Pompa, and we treated him 2-3 times a week for 3 weeks. This young man was walking on crutches after 3 weeks, and he went on a trip to Greece without any help after 5 weeks. I mean, it was an amazing story of healing. And that's what we want to do. We want to offer this to our veterans. We want this in every major VA center across the country. And you know, as I know, the VA system is the largest healthcare system in the world, right? And they are looking for more non-invasive things that don't puncture the skin, same day procedure that it takes 10 minutes.
Correct.
It's little downtime. I mean, you know how fast the treatments are. So I see this in the next, hopefully quicker, but in the next 7 to 10 years, every VA center is going to have this. As well as, I love the fact that we pair this with chiropractic in a lot of the VA centers, and they're the first ones that are getting it.
Well, we're definitely, anybody that's watching this, look down below, the One Leg Bandit at Maness Veteran Medical. If you need to try this out, if you need a demonstration, we are here for you to take care of you and make sure that we get it in every VA. I'm letting you know there's only certain things that come across that absolutely can change everybody's life. This technology is one of them. You know, also Moleculite is another one. Just different things popping into my mind that is absolutely changing the world right now. But we're going to stick together and make sure that we are proactive in the approach to taking care of veterans instead of doing the same old, come in, get some pills, have a good day. Make sure you call your primary care and get your pills refilled. Forget that. Let's get better. Let's get back to work. Let's get our minds right and take care of one another. So, Dr. Diduro, I appreciate you. Any final words that you would like to say here to our audience?
You know, Jonathan, I think a device like this comes through once in our lifetime. I wrote an article several months ago calling this the greatest medical device in the last 25 years that no one's heard of. And really, it may be the most versatile. Not only does the FDA labels this as a non-significant risk factor, an NSR, because there are minimal to zero side effects when using this. So, you know, to me, you know, the last thing I want to tell you is, do you remember when Vioxx came out, Jonathan?
I do. I do definitely recall that.
It was in the early 1990s, and it was labeled the cure for arthritis. And it was wild because I had patients coming in. I'm like, Bill, how's your knee pain? Oh, my knee's fine. I go, really? What are you doing? Oh, I'm taking this Vioxx. It cured my arthritis. And I go, well, how long do you have to be on it? And he said, forever. Well, I think, in my mind, the way I think is like, if you have a healthy person and you give them a drug and you take it every day for the rest of their life, it creates toxicity. Well, to fast forward, that was only on the market 5 or 6 years. And literally 27,000 people died while being on that drug. That was considered the holy grail for pharmacology at the time, because if you can find something that can decrease inflammation, and that's what it was doing, but it also caused damage. This device, you can actually point it at the area where you're having issues, and it can turn down that inflammatory process for minutes to hours and even days. So to me, having something like that, like how did that pill, when people take pills, how do they know to go right to this elbow pain, right? Or my wrist pain? It doesn't. It affects your whole body. This is something that we can do externally that helps accelerate the body's natural healing ability. And one of the coolest things I've seen is Dr. Wolfgang Schaden, who is in charge of the workers' comp system in Austria. He's been around this technology 11, 12 years now. And they have estimated just in non-healing fractures alone that their little country of Austria has saved 70 million euros in the last 11 years. Now, non-healing fracture, I have a good veteran patient of mine. His name is Fred. He stepped out of his truck a few years ago, broke his ankle, right? Because he was a diabetic, it wasn't healing properly. He got infection in that bone and called osteomyelitis, and it had to have a below the knee amputation. Fred said to me, Matt, if this technology was around, that I knew about or my orthopedist knew about it, it probably could have saved my amputation. Think about that, because there's also an antibacterial and antimicrobial effect on this. And you know that with Moleculite, what a great company that we take a picture before on these non-healing wounds, and then 10 minutes after, the supersonic sound waves have obliterated those bacteria that built up on that wound. So, I'm in the same ship with you, and I thank you so much for helping us get the word out. Jonathan, anything I can do for you or ever come on, I really get thankful you gave me this chance to be on your platform and speak to a lot of our wonderful veterans out there.
Well, we do have something in the works. We're going to do a live demonstration. It's coming up in the next 30 to 60 days to really show folks exactly what's going on and let them know we're going to go all the way through. And no matter what, I'm with you to the end. That you mentioned something there that I want to put out there. Okay. Austria said how much money they saved. I want you to know how much money these other companies are going to lose because of this technology. And see, that's one thing that's always fighting back. These drug makers don't want to even mention something that actually works, okay? They want you popping them pills down your throat until your stomach can't digest food, okay? That's what they want. And now I don't want to start a war with them. They can squash me. You know that. It's all good, but let's be real. It's all about the money, but I'm all about helping and actually making solutions same as you. So thank you for your time, and we're gonna keep getting this out, and we won't stop until the DAs have it.
Last thing I want to tell you.
Yeah.
And you're right. There's over 130 peer-reviewed studies that have come out on this technology and the efficacy. And one of the reasons a lot of this research is coming out of socialized healthcare system is because they're looking for what's most efficient and effective, right? Unfortunately, medicine is an industry in this country. And, my first year, I went to pain management clinics all around the country trying to pitch this. I got no after no after no. You know why? Because the doctor makes more money when he sticks a cortisone injection into your body. He'll get paid $1,200 as opposed to maybe $100 and $120 for this therapy. You know what I mean? So we get patients better quicker, faster, without ever puncturing the skin. And in the algorithm of healthcare, you don't start with the most expensive and most invasive. You start with what is least invasive and cost effective. And you really exhaust all those options before you start going in for exploratory surgery. Okay, Jonathan?
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I have to ask one more question. I need to know this. I wasn't going to go down this rabbit hole right now. What is this doing with cancer? Is there any studies been done with cancer, any type of tumors, anything like that? Or are we not there yet with this?
Well, it's fun you say that. And by the way, bacteria and microbes, they have a lipid membrane as a cell membrane. Remember I told you this 3,355 mile an hour supersonic sound waves is compressing the cells of cell membranes and then expanding it. And an animal or a human cell membrane is strong enough to withstand those vigors. But guess what? The bacteria or virus, right? They have a lipid cell membrane. So it's kind of fat-based and it's weaker. So it gets pulverized. It blows it away. The funny thing is that cancer has similar type of lipid membranes. So there are some cool studies out there. And I will tell you what's even more promising is some of the studies they're doing in Austria and Germany on dementia and Alzheimer's. And to put this in perspective, 450 million Americans 450,000 Americans would have died through this COVID pandemic, okay? But the people living on United States right now, the 300 million people, 45 million of them will die from dementia or Alzheimer's, okay? And so that's 100 times bigger than what this pandemic did. So this is huge. This is something that is going to cost our healthcare system hundreds, trillions of dollars if we don't figure it out. And the thing that I am impressed by, we meet cancer survivors every day. Do you ever meet an Alzheimer's survivor?
No, I mean, once you get that, once they say that, it normally goes downhill and downhill pretty quickly.
So some of the cool research is, what is Alzheimer's? It's a buildup of amyloid plaque in the sulcuses of the brain. That plaque is a result of the body having to deal with foreign invaders and toxins and things like that. It's an inflammatory process, right? What have I told you about this technology, Jonathan? This helps decrease inflammation. So some of the most promising future research could be at helping downregulate that inflammatory process. But I mean, again, I'm speculating. I do feel that that is some of the best research that we can do right now is on those dementia and reversing. I mean, obviously diet and other things can help, but that might be the most amazing stuff in the future. Cancer, yes. Again, they have a lipid membrane, so not sure. Right now, we are not placing this over areas of cancer because it increases angiogenesis, which if you understand a benign tumor and a malignant tumor, the difference, if you cut the benign tumor in half, there's no blood supply. But a malignant tumor, you cut it in half, and there's all these blood vessels. So right now, we're staying away from it because we don't want to increase the blood flow and increase that angiogenic factor. But there are doctors out there that are working with it, and we'll have to see where it comes.
And sorry, I was just throwing that out there because
it's a great question.
Yeah, we got, just wanted that. While I had you, I wanted to ask you that question. So we're going to continue to spend some more time together over the next few months. Thank you so much for your time, and I just hope you have a wonderful day. Okay.
Thank you, Jonathan. And appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you. So everyone, just another outstanding stream. I want you to think to yourself, if you have a veteran or a DoD service member that's hurting, in pain right now, I want you to share this link that's going to be put out. Go to Jonathan Maness on YouTube and share both of my SoftWave meetings, and just let's get the word out, okay? Let's be proactive in healing and proactive in health, and stop worrying about what the old treatments are and taking pills, and let's do whatever we can do to be healthy and happy. And Maness Veteran Medical is here for all of you. Please email me at theonelegbandit@manessveteranmedical.com, and we'll get you anything you need. Quote, if you need a demo, if you need us to come out there and show it to you, we will. We are 100% dedicated, because we know once you see this, you put this in your hand and you see the results, it is going to be a staple in your facility from now until the end of time. So thank you very much. I went a little bit over today, but y'all needed this wonderful information, and I will holler at y'all later on this week. Thank you.